now let's say you've found, let's say 3 candidates for each role. How do you actually pit them against each other and find out who is the best fit for you? What have you done in the past? What's worked and what's not worked?
Yeah, well, I guess this is where you understand. It all comes down to the circumstance at that time, where your business is, where you're, what sort of teams. Just, I guess, and you look at the whole team in general as well. Like you got a few candidates. It's sort of like, is this person going to fit, work under me, but also work with the team as well? And that's important, because if you get someone who's going to come and just really disrupt the whole team, it's going to be a nightmare for everyone. And I've always said, you spend most of your time at work. You want to make sure that it's enjoyable as much as possible, right? These are guys you're going to sit with for hours in a day. It's important, one, to have the skills to be good enough to do work, but also to enjoy work as well. And to some extent, and you don't want someone in there that's going to cause conflict and stuff like that. So if I had a few candidates to pick from, I guess when it comes to paper, if they're good enough skill-wise, it comes down to, the culture fit. I think that's just as important.
Yeah, nice. And that's got to be obviously supporting when two leagues, right? So we'll get that space. No, good times. I think that's really critical. I think what I found is through my years of hiring, I'm going to also say firing in this case, it's really hard to test candidates' actual skills versus what they've written on paper. Now with AI, we're talking about a world of pre-AI where, you'd copy the fanciest resume you've ever seen in your life and hope you got the job. Now you just sort of copy and paste a job in, say, write me a CV, and there's a lot of, so now when you're reviewing candidates, it's a lot more difficult. But what I've noticed in the past is if I've got a very sort of transactional role, I've seen that, hey, if there's a lot of interest, I tend to test the people now. I chuck them some actual questions and problems and I say, go away, come back to me in 2 hours and, come back and solve, because I want to see how they actually operate now, right?
Wait, is this during an interview?
Yeah, during an interview, I come back and say, hey, there will be a test after, and I have a predetermined test, and I send it out to 3 or 4 different candidates, and I go the same test, and I give them the same time box treatment, and that's in the UK that flushed out. Believe it or not, like I had 20 good candidates. I think 3 of those actually passed the test from the 20, and then from the 3, I could make a clear call on like, hey. Like now, because initially I was just trying to interview everyone, but now I'm like, all right, well, here's a test. Give me the test in a sandbox environment. Send it back to me. Now I know that you can actually do the job. Now I'll give you an interview time, right? Because initially the first round I was like, let's just interview half the country, right? Which did not work at all. And
I've never heard of that before. So is this something?
Yeah.
Is it
a
sort of
Ash special just for the account dads? And now you guys know my secrets.